How important do you think being authentic and vulnerable is in entrepreneur journey in business?
Yeah. So I'm still very much a student of this. So I am someone, I mean, it takes so much for me to be vulnerable. Like to share like the way I'm sharing on this call. I think this is probably the first time I'm doing this on an interview.
We're honored.
But so I don't have the answer, right? But I am a student. I know for me, like the need to like look good and do things right is pretty high up there. So being vulnerable is very very difficult for me to do. But what I have found is that the more vulnerable I am, the more free I am, right? We as entrepreneurs, we seek so much for freedom, financial freedom, but what we don't realize as entrepreneurs are most people are emotional bondage, right? Like we're not free inside. We're free out here externally, right? We have we have the finances, we have the material things, and the even the relationships out here. But to be free in here, it takes vulnerability to be free in here, like inside of us, right? So yeah. So to answer your question, how important it is, it's more important for you to free yourself way more so than anything else external.
I love that, man. I think that what you just said, the big takeaway from that share I have is that the more vulnerable you are, the more free you are.
Yep.
And that phrase that came into my head, it's from the movie Matrix. And I think it's a good thing to wrap this up. In the Matrix, it says, free your mind. Right? There's that famous what's his name? Morpheus says, free your mind. And I think that when we actually get vulnerable, I think there is something that amazing thing happens, not only for you, but for other people. Because I think on this particular podcast, this episode, one of the things that you've been talking about, the journey, the entrepreneurial and all that kind of stuff, so many people can relate to, but so many people won't actually say it.
Yeah.
Right. They won't actually bring it up and say it. And this is what's happening. This is what I'm dealing with and all that kind of stuff. And when people like you come up and be vulnerable and show up, it's like, well, I'm not the only one. And that gives me the space to actually go out there and be more free, be more vulnerable, say something and help other people.